Passions come in many forms, from our hobbies to our careers, what we spend our entire lives doing. They bring us joy and inspire others, and that is what we're celebrating today on Good to Know. Ann Schimmel turned her passion for birds into a business in Milwaukee.
The whole idea was to have something for everybody. Whether you feed the birds, whether you like the birds, whether you know somebody who likes the birds, we have something for you.
Sometimes it only takes a little inspiration or even time to discover something new that excites us.
I'm seeing a lot of families coming in with their kids saying, you know, that we got into this because we're in the house and the kids want to attract more finches. What do we need for that? Or they love the cardinals, or we have a robin's nest in our tree. What do we do to help them?
So what is your passion? How can you share it with your community? And if you don't have one just yet, that's fine. You might be inspired today. This is Good to Know.
To have your passion and your purpose meet is really an amazing thing.
I just fell in love with it from the very beginning.
Came from just wanting to have a creative outlet, and I wanted to do something that was mine.
To see them reeling the fish and laughing and enjoying the outdoors and seeing them smile, that's really the motivation behind Fishing for the Heart.
I found my angels because they showed up when I needed them.
I think it's created something really powerful, much more powerful than I thought it was going to be.
Hey everyone, I'm your host, Lindsay Boach, and discovering your passion can come really at any age. Like this teenager in Virginia who discovered his so early on, he made a really big impact in his community.
I love every second I get to spend in my wood shop.
Charlie Hamilton can get lost walking into his own backyard.
I'll be in here from the very beginning of the morning to the time it gets dark and when I come in for dinner.
The 17-year-old from Henrico loses himself in a small forest of fallen trees.
I normally come out of my trance as soon as my mom kind of comes in and tells me dinner's ready.
The woodworker is using quarantine to carve and carve some more.
I think getting out, using your hands can be awesome.
An ancient trade passed down through generations of Hamiltons. This is not.
I've just kind of grown with that and watched a lot of YouTube to learn all the skills.
Yes, when other boys were playing video games.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Young Woodworker. My name is Charlie Hamilton.
Charlie was learning to whittle at 12.
My friends like to make a couple of jokes. They think like, oh, like old man Charlie like going to make his little wooden bowls in his wood shop.
His hobby is nothing to laugh at. Charlie's functional artwork sells in galleries and online between $50 and $250.
It's such a fun process to go from kind of like a log like one of these to a finished bowl. I just fell in love with it from the very beginning.
But the craftsman's bowls are serving a greater purpose during the pandemic.
It's an extremely fulfilling feeling, I would say.
The junior at Mills Godwin is pouring his profits, every penny, into Feeding America, one of the country's largest food banks.
I just saw it as a great opportunity to kind of give back.
A single dollar generates 10 meals for people in need.
Just seeing the bright side of this kind of situation is what my goal has been throughout this whole process.
It's a breath of fresh air to see someone who's willing to sacrifice this much time to do something they love.
Lifelong friend Charlie Eunice helps with marketing and shipping the finished products.
So just thinking about the vast number of meals that we're able to provide for people who need it, it's just a really rewarding experience.
Since launching the Serving Bowls project a few weeks ago, the friends have raised nearly $5 grand. Their goal, $15,000.
I'll always remember this process and the work that we're doing.
Charlie Hamilton, an artist who may get lost in his own backyard.
I would like to do it as long as I can.
But he's found a way to leave hunger in the sawdust.
It's all rewarding in the end when I get to kind of wipe the finish on the bowl and to see it really shine. It's great.
This group of women in Florida show how quickly their passion turned into a purpose.
In 6 days, we have successfully transformed 2 houses into amazing homes for families that are so deserving.
These are the women behind the Pineapple Projects. They're led by Ashley Cornetti, a former real estate agent with a gift for home decorating and helping people in need.
To have your passion and your purpose meet is really an amazing thing.
Friends of theirs, a couple with a small child, lost both of their jobs due to the pandemic.
Literally sold everything they had to pay their bills.
So the ladies put out a call for home furnishings and donations on Facebook, and people responded in a major way.
In crazy times that we're in right now, always look deeper for the helpers.
But they weren't done yet. They heard about another family that was struggling during the pandemic. More donations, more decorating magic from Ashley, and just the beginning of the power of the Pineapple Projects.
It's just been amazing to see the relief come off of their faces.
Tenth grader Joseph LaFay is one of 30 students, grades 3 to 12, learning the ins and outs from experts on how to design, build, and even furnish their own tiny house.
So it really pushed me into knowing that I wanted to do architecture, specifically for tiny homes. Like I want to help design and make tiny homes when I'm older.
Robin Donaldson started the nonprofit STEM Exposure Program 3 years ago. She is an architectural designer herself and would love to see more African American kids follow in her footsteps.
Anything that you're wanting to be great at, you have to start early on. Kids growing up, they want to be basketball players, football players, because they haven't been exposed to actual other careers.
Due to the pandemic, these free courses are now being run online right out of Robin's home, with the help of some of her past shining stars.
I mean, you think about architecture and building design as something boring, sitting behind a computer just drafting up models, and that's absolutely not the case. You're sitting down talking with people and you're hearing their life stories and why they want you to design their home a certain way.
Ninth grader Wesley Houston was such a success following last year's camp, Robin hired her to do a project for a friend.
I'm remodeling her house because she wanted to close off her carport and add some doors and windows.
What a wonderful thing to do is to be able to give an opportunity to young people and be a part of their history.
And by the end of this summer's 2-week program, every student will have designed their own tiny house. 2 of these homes will actually be built and given to a homeless veteran.
And it's just very rewarding to see that, okay, I designed this, now I see it being built. And again, it's giving these kids options.
Our next passion project has a big country music star involved and shows you that following your passion can lead to big rewards.
Any writer will tell you, you write how you feel. Henry Particelli started with one line.
I cried for you today, but I don't know you.
What he does know is that if it weren't for the actions of some, the George Floyds, the Breonna Taylors would still be here today. But these were notes, just barely ideas.
And started writing the song on a Wednesday night and kind of concluded it on a Thursday.
I'm angry, I'm sad.
He never intended on singing this himself, so Particelli offered it to Juanita Copeland, one of the biggest names in Nashville music, who brought it to Garth Brooks, one of the biggest names in music, period.
And he put his head down and he said, "Oh my gosh." He said, "That's an amazing song. So you know the songwriter?" I said, "Yes, I do. He's a Metro police officer." And he stood up and he said, "Oh, he has to release the song, Juanita."
I'm just trying to get a grip on what happened that night.
Singer, songwriter, sergeant, playing the notes only he knows best. The title, Your Name, because as he puts it, these are the names he will always remember, and for all the wrong reasons.
There's no question that it is crushing to us to watch law enforcement do something that we don't accept as law enforcement.
I'm so sorry, that's how we know your name.
It's for that reason Particelli wrote what he did. Not to blame, but to show that with or without this badge, we can heal together.
If you never knew that I was a police officer through the whole course of this video, hopefully the song still does something for you.
Spring Run Elementary School teacher Aubrey Smalls misses his students. But he's still teaching them.
Something that they can do at home. You don't have to really have anything. Just use your cups, whatever you have in your cabinet.
When the pandemic sent kids home, he started sending them Twitter videos, like this one.
Smalls here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pan flute.
His dad played the trumpet and passed down a love of music when Mr. Smalls was just 6 years old. That's when he started playing the saxophone.
The note's a little bit higher. Now this is the one where it's not cut.
From straws to water-filled glasses.
Sometimes you don't really know how much of an impact is happening until later on, where they may come and ask you about something, or say, hey, Mr. Smalls, I got this, my ukulele, and I've been learning, or teaching myself how to play it. So it does make you smile when you see that happen.
You can see the lessons are working. Teachers are learning new ways of teaching these days. Mr. Smalls seems to have found just the right note for his students.
We miss you.
And that's building better minds.
We miss you. We miss you.
There's so much more that's good to know. We're going to lure you in with this sweet video of these kids fishing. It's their new passion, thanks to someone else.
It's kind of giving back, you know, the passion that we have for the sport.